This episode is brought to you by Hyundai. Whether you're running errands with the kids or heading on a weekend escape, the new 2025 Hyundai Tucson Hybrid is packed with class-leading advanced safety features like blind spot view monitor, forward collision avoidance assist, and wireless phone charging, so you can stay focused on what really matters. Learn more about the new Tucson Hybrid at HyundaiUSA.com.
It's time for basketball, and Uber Eats is dropping deals on game day favorites to keep you locked in on the action. Like when you're craving a buzzer beater, but also buffalo wings. Or when an upset makes you want to ugly cry into a pizza. And right now, Uber Eats has game day deals from Burger King, Buffalo Wild Wings, KFC, and hundreds more local favorites. So you can keep your eyes on the ball and your hands on a burger. Order now, only on Uber Eats. Product availability varies by region. See app for details.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? Well, with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills. Wait, did I say job title yet? Get started today and see how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started at linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to the Football Historian Podcast.
By all means, enjoy it.
He will go right to the very top.
Dos, tres, cuatro times.
Here we go, Germans.
I will turn these results round.
All right, that's good manners.
There's animosity, but there's no fight.
You can't beat them, join them.
How do you make me feel sick if I look at you?
No, I want to fight here.
But don't drink, don't sleep with women, don't drive fast cars.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit too!
Hello, welcome to the Football Historian Podcast. Today I'm delighted to be joined by Darren Farley. Thank you very much for coming in.
Oh, you're welcome, mate. Firstly, I just want to say this cup of tea is one of the best cups of tea I've ever had.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
You can thank me dad for that, because he's the only person I know who drinks tea. So if that's about 10 years ago I made him his last cup of tea. That's just muscle memory, I think that.
Lovely, mate. Thank you.
No, glad you enjoyed it, and I say thank you very much for coming in. You said before you don't do many, so I really do appreciate.
Do you know what? I really don't, and it's I've obviously listened to your podcast, mate. Really good. Really like it. You seem a good lad. So
far.
Yeah. So far, yeah. Famous last words. But no, thanks for inviting me on, mate.
Nice. Well, we're going to go into all stuff, impersonating and football and whatever. Yeah. But just very quickly, for anyone who may be unaware, you just briefly introduce yourself and then we'll do the full chat.
Yeah. Darren Farley, impressionist. Football players, football managers. I love doing it. I love doing it. I'm more than anything, mate. I'm just a massive football fan. So ever since I was sort of a kid, I was always a bit of a people watcher. So I always like teachers and school friends. Always had like a little bit of a, and I couldn't work out what it was or why. And then I was probably about 15, 16, and then I started doing like impressions of like Steven Gerrard, Michael Owen. It was all Liverpool because I was obsessed with Liverpool, mate. From there, and me mates, it was more like a thing for me mates. So me mates would go, do us a favour, do you Michael Owen if we'd had a couple of blue WKDs or something back in the day. But we used to go to match a lot as well. So we'd be on, remember the Happy Owls coaches, go on the match. And I'd be doing it on the coach. So there'd be a load of lads. And it was a thing, I think a lot of Liverpool fans sort of knew, but I was only a kid then. And then I got a little bit of luck in about, I think it was 2009, I'm terrible with me years. And a friend of mine wanted to show his mate or his girlfriend or something, and he took a clip of me and then put it onto YouTube. And this is when YouTube was like brand new. We never even had a computer in our house, so I had to go down to my mates. And my mate was like, "Darren, there's videos everywhere of you and blah, blah, blah." And then from that, gradually, over the years, I've sort of, become a football impressionist. But I think it more boils down to I'm obsessed with football. I'm just obsessed with it. So I constantly watch it. So I'll constantly watch like managers giving an interview after a game, players giving an interview. I can't, honestly, I'm consumed with it. Like I am consumed with footy, mate. So, football impressionist. Sorry, probably about 20 minutes.
It's all good. So
I was born in 90.
we go that far back. That's all good. But I was just going to say, the people that you were probably most famous for are Gerrard and Carragher.
Yeah.
You're quite fortunate in a way that Carragher is... Gerrard's probably with the bigger names, probably even still, but the fact that Carragher's on everyone's telly 3-4 times a week, even with the overlap now, it's even more that he's on the telly, he's on CBS, you couldn't have picked a better person.
Do you know what, mate, right? It's one of them as well. One of the most challenging things about being an impressionist with footballers is they're constantly leaving and going. So you'll get a manager and then you'll, maybe be working on him for like 6 months and then he's out the door. Do you know what I mean? And then similar way players, and when Carragher retired, I remember like loads of people pardon me, loads of people saying to me like, what are you gonna do now Carragher's gone? And then the next thing, there he pops up as like one of the big pundits on telly. And another thing about Jamie Carragher is how supportive he's been of what I do from day one. What I love about him is, have you had Jamie Carragher on your show?
No,
I'm sure you will, because
he said he's retired from podcast, I think.
But he's just a great fella, a really great fella. I was a fan of him as a player, of course I was. Loved him, loved his leadership, everything about him. Brilliant pundit as well, but a great fella. With a great family as well. He's got great people around him. He's never lost his roots. Yeah. And it's one of them, you forget who he is, because I've obviously done stuff with him. And you're like, you forget who he is. You forget who these people are. And I've been dead fortunate, mate, to sort of be around people, former footballers, and it changes sort of your complexes. When you're a fan, you only see things of Gary Neville and Roy Keane. They're two of the great, they are two belter fellas. Roy Keane is probably my favourite person in the world. Now, I know Liverpool fans would be going, what a guy. What a really nice, humble, nice guy. Like, I know you asked about Jamie Carragher and Steven Gerrard.
No. I just mean that you've done well picking them, but as you say, even, again, we've had a few footballers in this, you realise they're just all normal people, which I don't know why that's hard to believe, but when you see them score a goal in front of 40,000-50,000 people and you just want to beat them, you get why you hold them up. But
the thing is, P, as well, like, the difference is the modern footballer as well, and I sort of defend the modern footballer a little bit, because I've like met Jack Grealish, Declan Rice, again, two of the loveliest lads you'd ever meet. I sound like I'm name dropping here, I'm not, sorry, but it's just to defend them, because I know there's a lot of players who you quite like Marcus Rashford sometimes. You look at players like that and go, you've got the world at your feet, look at the money you're getting, the opportunity you're getting, and they don't realise that that'll be gone like that. And everyone will go, he's made his money or whatever, but I just feel like the players back in the day, there was still a part of them that were like us, like working class, even the likes of Carragher and Steven Gerrard until he went to Saudi for 40 million a week. But they're just like us, because they earn great dough and great money, but I feel like that 90s footballer still sort of, when they left footy, would have been like, well, what do we do now? Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, we earn dough, but we've still got to make money. But yeah, just I think in terms of the modern footballer, it's such a different world now, mate, isn't it? You get that, like, could you imagine sitting here doing a podcast with Erling Haaland? Do you know what I'm saying? Oh, he's a superstar, but they're so, not saying entitled, but they've got so much money, they've got so much that it's almost scary now, the difference between a player and a fan. Whereas, like, you know yourself, you've had former footballers in here, and I've been with former footballers, and it's like, they're just normal fellas. Where I think I remember speaking to Terry McDermott, and he was saying that he'd go and have a pint with the fans in like West Derby Village after the game. Do you know what I mean? That's insane. Yeah. Could you imagine like Alexis McAllister now just popping in, just going a pint a bit of beer? Like.
Well, we had Steve McNulty on, who played for Tranmere, and he like came through Liverpool's books and everything. Yeah. And me and all my mates were into Hope Uni, but they were like Arsenal fans, Preston fans, United fans. So we all picked a team that we could all watch, and we wouldn't hate each other or hate anyone on the pitch. It was fine. So they were in the conference at the time, and I remember he walked in after the game in the fan park, thinking had a pint of Guinness at the thing. Like, we were all looking at him like, we're all used to like Premier League football as well. It was just like all the fans just chatting to him. You're like, we were just singing his name every time he wins. It's going Steve every time, and then there he is having a pint. Is that? And
I love that though.
Yeah, that's what you want, innit?
And I think that's why a lot of people have. I mean, I know a few fellas who've kind of not fell out of love with football, but they go to like, I think it was City or Liverpool games and that type of thing. And I think, with the United, FC United or whatever it is. And I think there's just more like it's going back, it's a throwback now. Yeah. Whereas you can associate with that footballer, and they're almost like cult heroes, like these lads who are playing. You just mentioned there, Steve McNulty. who's a legend, obviously, I've heard him on a couple of podcasts, actually, probably yours, mate. But, you know, there's such a difference now, isn't there? That connection with like a player and a fan. And sometimes you go, is it the player or is it the fan? Now, you think about the fans now, the adulation, social media, the insanity. I can't believe any footballers on social media. I can't believe it. I get this, me brand and blah, blah, blah. Oh, come on, give me a break. You don't need to be on there. No. And then, I love Darwin Núñez. I really love Darwin Núñez. I love his attitude. I love everything about him. But, you know, going on social media and crying about what people are saying to you, it's dead easy to get past that. You just delete your app, mate, and take the dogs for a walk.
Well, I don't have any here of a platform. You've got a much bigger one than me. Doing has just got a massive one compared to you. But even you just see bad comments and you just go, oh, well, that's what. Especially if you're in the public light. Maybe a football is less so because I'm here with six lights to the camera. So maybe you ask for it a bit more on yourself, going on YouTube and doing impersonations, and maybe he just thinks I'm just good at footy. It's not my fault. Yeah, but you know, when you're in the public eye, it's going to come, and you have a. I think
isn't it a sad expression though, Pete? You sign up for it.
Yeah, well, of course. Yeah.
Like, it's the saddest thing you'll ever hear, but that is the world we live in now. So it takes a little bit of getting used to. But I was talking to me mate, and I had to tell me mate to stop, because me mate I don't read comments on social media. I stopped doing that years ago, and that's the genuine, honest truth. I have people who manage me social medias for me because I don't want to waste my life. I've got, you know, I love what I do, and I love that people enjoy it. And if I miss anyone's like nice comments, you know, I genuinely like. I always say to people who run my socials to let me know if people have messaged me, so I can message them and blah blah blah. But it's social media has become almost like so morbid at times. You know what I mean? Especially Twitter. I mean, Twitter, I've never seen a change in any social media platform than that. Yeah. Whereas, like, you know, and my mate was getting in touch with me going, oh, lad, have you heard what they're saying about you? And I had to stop him and go, why are you telling me? Yeah. Why are you telling? You're more wound up than me. And he was going, but they're getting dead personal, blah, blah, blah. And I said to him, but this is what I've signed up for, mate. And he couldn't get his head around it. He went, but you're only doing a few impressions and blah, blah, blah. But it's very difficult because I've spoke to loads of people who are, I'm Z-list, mate, you know what I mean? But when you're talking about lads who are really in the public eye, and it's hard not to be offended by someone. Imagine you're a builder and you're just like with your trowel and building a wall, and someone comes up and just goes, oh, keep that wall, crap you, do something new. I've been doing that for years, you crap you. You know, it's not normal. Yeah. So why it's normal on social media? Me and you, mate, you know, we like certain types of music or certain films. There's people in the public eye we're probably not fond of. We don't hate them or dislike them, but we just won't watch them.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? We'll just like walk past them. You just scroll past it, don't you? And I just don't understand this world we're in now, where, and you know, my daughter's 12 and my daughter loves singing and she loves stuff, and she's said to me a couple of times, you know, I want to possibly do stuff, and I wouldn't allow her on social media until she was like an adult, because it's the brutality of what people say. It's so like personal, and there's no kind of like, you wouldn't get away with it in real life. I've been doing this, mate, for probably about 15 years now. I'll be doing this when I'm 80. I don't care. I love it that much, you know. Getting greyer now as well. Painting the ceilings, as they say. But I'll be doing this, mate, for as long as I can. Do you know what I mean? Because I absolutely like love doing it. But you're always gonna get people who are gonna give you crap. But that sort of abuse on social media or whatever, it doesn't seem to be a deterrent for it. Do you get what I mean?
No, yeah, of course. And
so a lot of people
know about it as well.
Sorry, P, I lost my train of thought before. Yeah. I've spoke to people in the public eye who are doing the same thing, and they really struggle with it. Notice when I've spoke to them, I won't name names, but there's lads who, and I can't believe that it gets them as much as it gets them. There's one fella who, he only seems to respond to negative comments, and I'm like, you've got fans out there who are like, you know, who are saying you're great and you're great at what you do, we love you, and you're ignoring them, and you're giving attention to people who are giving you grief.
So you get one bad comment and it's in your head all day. Yeah. Well, I don't really look at the comments so much what I said about the Lee Peltier episode we did recently.
Yeah.
So I commented under the video, like, this interview was great, but the person who did the interview was horrific. So I just replied, like, sorry, mate, I'm still quite new to it. Trying my best.
I mean, you're brand new to this, mate.
He then but immediately goes, oh, sorry, I would never be a troll online or anything like that. I'm sorry if you took it that way. I was like, why would you write that?
And why would you write it?
Why, if you're that bothered, did she say just scroll past it or go, I really enjoyed what Lee said and just maybe...
It's insane, mate. It's insane. And you know what? That's you're new to this, mate. So you're like, it's like a new world to you. It's hard to understand. And it's not like you'll get a lot of people who'll go, I'll ignore that comment or whatever. But it's not easy. Because in life, though, if someone walked up to you and went, not bad. I am allowed to swear,
yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Sorry.
Yeah, you are allowed to swear. You know, what am I going on about? You're not allowed to swear. No one's going to walk up to you in the street. No one does. That's what I was meant to say before. Yeah. I've been doing it for years. I had one lad. I was in the garage on the East Lang site. He was like, I should have seen him, mate. I think he was from like St Helens or Manchester. He had half an haircut. And he just walked up to me and went, your impression is shy. And I just went, get outside now. Swear to you, right? I'm no hard case, by the way. Everyone who knows me knows that. But he shit himself. Genuinely, though. Yeah. I've had one. But
at least he said it, though.
But my missus said to me, but Darren, have you done that with everyone? Yeah. You're going to be fighting all the time. I said, but my little girl was with me when he said it. And I was like... I was raging. I think it was because I had my daughter with me. Yeah. And I just thought to walk up to someone and he genuinely, I just said, get outside to him. Because you like yourself, mate, you just wouldn't take that. And I think on social media, because people are behind a camera or people feel they can just say whatever they want to say and they just think you're stupid. They think they're protected. They think you're daft. You know, they see me doing me. As I say, mate, I couldn't fight myself out of a paper bag, mate. But I think they just think like, well, I can say what I want and I can get away with it. But the social media thing, we could do a 15-hour conversation on social media.
There's so many. Like, I remember the first time I ever I wrote an article, because I do obviously football writing as well, and I was writing about Liverpool's midfield options about 3 years ago, and I went and I listed Jay Spearing as our 11th choice centre midfielder.
How dare you have an opinion?
And people were saying, because the whole thing was we need to buy centre mid, and I was going, well, look, if we went down to the 11th choice, he started an FA Cup final with us.
Yeah.
Tongue in cheek, I wasn't saying I wanted to start.
Yeah,
and in that case scenario, we need 10 players injured for him to play. So we're not that desperately in need. And like Jay Spearing was trending. I think it went on Sport Bible or something, and then people are messaging. I was like, "Oh, you messing?" I was like, I was being serious because he was our 11th choice. But I was also obviously joking because if we got 10 players injured, you probably would then buy a centre mid.
But the thing is,
people are so bothered.
Do you know what though? All publicity is good. It is though, mate, and that's what I'd say to you. Like I went on Sky Sports News. Oh, I'll never forget this. Transfer deadline day. Like, oh my God. Like, what if someone says to you, do you want to come on transfer deadline day, Sky Sports News? This was about 4 years ago. I think we were just out of COVID, if I'm right. I think so, something like that. And I'd done a couple of bits with Sky over the summer, and that is really good publicity. I'll never turn that down. Sky Sports, millions of football fans or whatever. But I was genuinely sending on social media, not for a good way. You know what I mean? I went on social media. I went on Sky Sports News and I'm doing it. And I remember going in and my wife just going and looking at me and I'm just going, what? She just went, you are like trending. And I went, why? And she just went, oh my God. She just went, you're getting so much stick online. It was unbelievable. What did you say?
Were you giving your opinions on stuff? That was it?
No, just doing me impressions.
Right. Okay.
Now, listen, right, I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but I've done a good job. I've done characters that I know I'm good at. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And characters that, you know, I do in videos and people like or whatever. But it taught me how to swing in social media, how like we'd gone. Because the weird thing about it was, I think on Facebook, like the reaction was off the charts in terms of positivity. And then on Twitter, Twitter's the wow, the pits, mate, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And it was how personal it was. Do you know what I mean? And I even had like friends of mine at the time. And that's when I had to say to me, mate, oh, listen, you know, don't let it get to you, blah, blah, blah. But God, like, to have my wife who does not ever mention anything, but I just remember thinking, wow. But then thinking, after a couple of days, okay. You know, trending on social media, you know what I mean? All of a sudden, there was a few gigs coming in here and there. I thought, is it bad? And I've learned that it's not so bad. Like, honestly, like, people can give you a stick. You don't don't set out to get negative responses. You don't. But you have to think to yourself, if people are talking about it, they're talking about it. Yeah. And you yourself, mate, on your podcast, your opinion.
This episode is brought to you by Walmart. New beauty is in bloom at Walmart, and it's all about springtime radiance. From Drybar, Tula Skincare, and hundreds more available online, Walmart has the premium brands you want and this season's on-trend products for flawless, glossy hair and hydrated skin. Big name beauty brands? Check. The things you love? Check. Find trending spring beauty and all you need to look and feel gorgeous at Walmart, on app and online.
Yeah. David Coote. Right, let's just get on this one very quick. Like David Coote, I think I lost about 10,000 followers on social media. Now, you mightn't agree with me on this, P, and that's sound. Not a lot of people agree with me on it. So, you know, when he come out and called Jurgen Klopp, see you next Tuesday, right, on the video, blah, blah, blah. I thought the hunt, the sort of, what you call it, like a witch hunt was disgusting, mate. Seriously. I thought to myself, and what I found about it was a lot of these fellas who were online giving this fella loads for doing what he was doing with the drugs. Half of them are probably in the bogs themselves. And I just thought, it's a fella, I think it's come out that it's something to do with his sexuality and stuff like that. There's no excuse for it, mate. He's a referee and blah, blah, blah. But obviously the fella was going through quite a lot, which is understandable. But I just said, if he thinks Jurgen Klopp to see you next Tuesday, I don't think that. I love Jurgen Klopp, of course we do. But that's his opinion. So what? Yeah. Should he be sacked for it? Should he lose his job? So imagine, mate, I imagine, you know, me and you were on a WhatsApp group and we're calling Alex Ferguson, blah, 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 and someone got that. Would we be sacked from our jobs for having an opinion? I just thought it was a witch hunt, but because I had a different opinion to the I always call them like what's the expression that I use? I always call it like a bit of a... there's an expression, I can't think what it is, mate. But literally, it's like you find if one person says something, everyone else has to say the same thing. Yeah. And because I had a different opinion, there was a backlash, and it was everywhere. Oh my God, people still going on about it 3 months later, and I just thought, wow. Yeah. But I don't really post on social media, but I felt that bad for the ref, even though he might hate Liverpool, he might hate Scousers, forget about all that. I feel sorry for anyone whose mate has put them on social media in a private moment because he's taken drugs, like half the people who were criticising him probably do. I'm just saying it. And I just felt like it was a witch hunt and I thought it was out of order. That's just my opinion.
No, but I think if he's saying those things on the pitch or in the VAR room, that's different to being at 4 a.m. or whatever it looked like, sat on the couch with you, who you thought was your mate, obviously to come out somehow. But I think there was different context
mate,
to it, isn't it?
You know, I'm saying this with me and you now. There's a possibility. You never know. Things get cut up and someone might go, there's Farley, blah. I don't care. I don't care. That's my opinion. Just because your opinion's different. Yeah. But the meltdown from it, you should have seen it. Oh, why? Why?
Yeah, it's called... Someone told me about, have you seen that tweet that you put up?
There you go. Like, but they don't get it, though. I genuinely don't care, though. Yeah. And, you know, that to have a meltdown over someone else having a different opinion is just like...
Well, I think people were surprised that he lost his job as well, like fully, hasn't it? Like, it does seem a little bit harsh.
I'm not a David Coote super fan, by the way.
No, I'm not saying you... But
honestly,
like,
I wasn't a fan of him as a referee, if I'm being honest with you, but when you actually think about that guy, he's obviously been going through a lot. You're a referee, you're in football. Apparently there's a lot of gay footballers who haven't come out. I actually feel sorry for him for going through that. Yeah. And you can imagine that that's been difficult for him. It's not an excuse to do and say what he said, but to call someone that as if we haven't, listen, it's a horrible word, we've all said it. So should we all be sacked from our jobs? Yeah. That's what I was saying, but it gets
of course, and then you have to back yourself, fan. And then it makes you look even more of a fan. But I think there hasn't been a scandal like that in which there has actually been so much support for someone's mental health and what happens next to it, which I think is a sign of progression as well.
Absolutely, mate. Because I think that was my point though at the time, mate, because all of a sudden what's so funny is you get half the same people then going, you know, bless them, or if anything happened to him, you know, we should have been nicer.
That's everyone's fault on social media, speaking out against him if he'd have done something to himself. Which,
and I just felt for him because, like, I've seen some of the vitriol that's sort of been aimed towards me just for doing an impression of Rafa Benitez or Carlo Ancelotti. So this is just a fella who going through a difficult part of his life, and it was a sort of an example because I've seen it with other people, and I just thought, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with it. Like, that's just pure. That's just a pure. I can't think of the expression. I'm so bad with things like this.
The herd mentality, everyone going after the same person.
Yeah, your herd mentality. Yeah, that's it, mate. Probably not what I was looking for. But that was it. I think my point was, just because I had a different opinion, that makes me a bad person. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying?
No, of course, yeah.
You're
mate, allowed to speak differently about it.
Absolutely.
Well, especially because, I've got lots of mates from uni who are from around the country, so on that group chat, it was a lot different to the Liverpool fan group chats where they're all going, oh, well, we've all done that. So cutting some slack, and the Liverpool fan ones are like, we can never be anywhere near any of our games again. Spot
on, mate. And I said that, and hardly anyone agreed with me. A load of the lads in our WhatsApp footy group said the same thing. You were like, oh, but there wasn't like this reaction of like, I hope you die, that you get on. That was my whole family.
But as you said, it's no one's going to say it to your face. But yeah, we'll move on from the David Coote thing, because we'll keep going.
Can I get me David Coote t-shirt out?
Yeah. We'll get that later. He's coming in next.
Is he? Get him on. I want to get in. He's me busy.
But I want to ask you as well about, because I call myself the football historian, but I'm a Liverpool fan. I've written the books are behind you about Billy Liddell and Tommy Lawrence, but I try and do football in general. Obviously, you said you started at the back of a Liverpool coach doing Gerrard, Carragher, Rafa, whatever. Was it a decision of yours quickly to move into other football? Was that something you wanted to do, or was it? And was it a bit awkward doing United and Everton ones? And I know everything's maybe a bit of a joke, but like trying to almost be in support of people you obviously don't like.
No, that's a good question, that, mate. That's a boss question. I think it was like what I wanted to move away from was the Liverpool thing. I'm a Liverpool fan. Sometimes you can be a bit biased because you don't sort of want to fall out with your own. It is a bit of a difficult one because I followed Liverpool home and away for years. I did, and I stopped sort of going to match when I started doing this because you're away a lot of weekends. I had my kids at the same time and stuff, and I had to make that decision because you'd be doing like LFC TV. I was doing the lounges at Anfield. It was Liverpool, and then I think it was about 13, 14, something like that, and then I made a decision then because I really love what I do. I really do. Like, even if it wasn't making me, it wasn't making a living for me, I'd still do it because I love it as a hobby. I love writing about football and filming it, and if I could make 5 people laugh and make their day a bit happier, I genuinely would, mate. I know people say that, but I genuinely would because I just love doing it. I've lost my train of thought. I'm set up for this. What was I saying?
Well, you just talked about not being Liverpool-centric, basically. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry. So I made a decision to sort of to go into different clubs and different things. And, even if that meant wearing like a Man United, I'd never exempt to doing that. But for doing like a sketch, and for doing like a Man United manager or an Everton manager, and then you do have to sort of change. You do have to sort of adapt and go, well, if I want to do it, I can't just do it Liverpool. I can't just connect it to Liverpool. Not only that, it's funny thinking about it now because when I first when I speak to Everton fans, it's dead funny. I've never met an honourable Everton fan, by the way. I get loads of abuse on social media, but in person, it just shows you how fake social media is, mate, because they're the soundest people ever. And we have a laugh and I explain about the Everton thing and go, well, yeah, you think I'm taking the piss out of Everton all the time? Steven Gerrard, Jamie Carragher, Roy Hodgson, Brendan Rodgers, Rafa Benitez, Jordan Henderson, right? 6 Liverpool. I've been taking the piss out of Liverpool since day one. But Liverpool fans, if I'm being honest with you, back in the day it's changed, no social media, but you could laugh at themselves. I remember doing Brendan Rodgers when Liverpool got beat by Real Madrid in the Champions League. And I remember thinking, social media is sort of changing now because people couldn't take that no more, couldn't laugh at themselves, and I could just see that even like whereas fans could laugh at themselves, it was like, we can't now type of thing. And there was, I'm not going to name names, but there was someone connected to Liverpool Football Club at the time who actually tried to get me. I was working for Liverpool doing the lounges, and they got a little bit of a cob on with some of the videos that I was doing. I won't name names, but
So, do you not work for a club specifically now? Then
so loads of different ones, mate. Yeah. So when I was doing the stuff at Liverpool, I think it's one of them. I was working for them, but I was also, because I was taking the piss out of them a little bit.
Yeah.
There was a fella who worked for Liverpool. I think he was a liaison officer or something. I think his name was Ray, but he just had his bonnet over me, and he was. he was trying to get me kicked off all kinds of gigs for the club and blah, blah, blah. I'm a Liverpool fan, so it was a bit like, he didn't, didn't. And some people won't see the fun side of it, but, you've got the likes of Cara who can laugh about it and who can go, it's not personal. But then you've got others, naming no names, who can't take it. And I'm saying, like, I've had real problems with a particular guy because, he's just got no sense of humour and he's got a massive ego. And, not naming names, but that's when I didn't fall out with the club, but it was like when you sort of seen behind the scenes of just how, like, sort of say, I only worked for Liverpool, like, sort of now and again. So I'd do the lounges now and again, but they were almost talking to me like I was a member of their staff. So you're not
contracted to them, you're just doing gigs for them, aren't you?
Just doing gigs for them and all that. And I was doing it at end of season awards, and he rang me on the morning and said, we've had a meeting with the players, and the one particular player is uncomfortable with you doing it. So I didn't do it. I got paid for it, so thanks for that, mate. Thanks, mate.
That's even better, yeah.
Even better. And then sort of from that, I was kind of like, okay, step away from Liverpool a bit. Still a massive supporter of the club.
Yeah.
Because, look, it's all changed now. Then we got a new manager, Jürgen. And we got new players and blah, blah, blah. And this new fella, God, he's like, man.
He's all right, isn't he?
Yeah. But it was one of those times where it was a bit weird because it was like I'd sort of, I've always been a Liverpool fan, but I sort of like fell out a little bit with the club, because it's hard to support someone who's kind of making it difficult at the time. It was a weird one.
What are you saying?
Can't really go into it, mate, too much, but it was like really weird.
Yeah, I can go I've read between the lines, but yes, but it must also
Fill
be
that blank. Who is it? Not Jimmy Sayori.
I haven't seen that one. It must be a bit like for a comedian when you make a joke about, and it's like a race of people, whatever, and then you almost want the go ahead from the person you're impersonating next to you, laughing along to go, oh, they said it's fine, so I'm allowed to laugh type thing in certain situations.
Here's the weird thing, though, mate, right? It's almost better if you're not too close to them, because I think it's easier to take the mick out of someone if they're not offended. You don't want them to be offended, but it's better if, like, you're not sort of mates with them. Because I've made a couple of mates in football. Obviously, I've got my mates or whatever, but there's a couple of lads who I've met when I've done some, like, promotional stuff, and I've kept in touch with them because they're really, really good lads. Lads who are playing now, who are great. So obviously, I wouldn't go there. I wouldn't. It's just a natural thing. You don't do that. But some people, for Cara, for instance, right? Cara's been so great and so supportive in terms of what I do. I can always take the mick out of Cara, but and listen, I wouldn't go personal with anyone, but you're almost like, oh no, he's been good to me. And then whereas, like, you've got others who kind of can't take the joke and who are a bit. If I'm being honest with you, there's only one person, two out of the whole three maybe, three. There's three people, actually three, and here's one for you. I've had a player's brother ring me on my phone and tell me to stop it, and I've had a player's dad ring me as well. Swear to you, that's how deep this goes and how woke society has become. It's incredible, isn't it? It's incredible.
It's bad that you can cause an offence by something that's clearly a joke. I'm guessing most of the times you're doing it, you're wearing a mad wig behind, stood in a mad outfit with an advertisement board of jokes behind you.
Absolutely.
So it's pretty obvious what the meaning is behind it.
It's a spoof, and you know what? It's I in terms of what I do, you always want to toe the line, and you don't want to offend anyone. The way I've always looked at it with football is it's an incredible living that the lads make. They do incredible. They've got an unbelievable life, but they are just normal people, and I get that. But I always think to myself, there's no way that any of those lads could be sitting there at night going, oh, I know I've got 50 million in the bank. That video, I can't be that bad. It's ruining my life. If you're doing that, there's certainly something wrong with yourself.
Well, I think, but again, on their side, they're allowed to say, "Oh, I don't like that. You mind stopping?"
Absolutely,
I'm sure that
mate,
you'd be like, "All right, fair enough. I'll ease it a bit."
But
you can't be too affected by it.
No. For me, you're spot on, mate. You're entitled to it, but some of the lengths, as I was saying to you before, that some of the lads who have dealt with have gone to, it's like, oh, come on, pack it in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I can imagine. I think we've got that, but there's a lack of scousers in football, really, at the moment. Big scousers. Obviously, I think Liverpool have got two in Trent and Curtis Jones, and I'm sure that there'll be others playing elsewhere, but maybe other than Trent, the lack of a massive Scouse footballing star. Is that something you enjoy because it means you have to try harder in finding other accents of the people, or do you wish there was another Gerard Carragher in the game?
No, I don't. You know what? It's you get pigeonholed, and people will always have that opinion about me. I think because if you think about those three lads in particular, you've got Jamie Carragher, who's the former Liverpool captain, played for England. Now he's probably the main pundit on Sky Sports. Wayne Rooney, Man United captain of England, one of the greatest forwards we've ever had. He's had about 27 jobs. He's working in KFC now, County Road. No offence, was it? And then does he watch? Was
he hasn't messaged in yet. No.
Get him on. I'll get on with my helmet. That's Rooney. And then you've got Steven Gerrard, who's probably, for a lot of people, possibly the greatest Liverpool player ever. I'm going with, at the moment, Mo Salah, just because of what I've seen. I just don't think there's a greater player. We'll discuss that if we can. Who former England captain, one of the greatest Premier League players of all time. What a player. So that's how I look at it. Why wouldn't it be to do Frank Lampard, who's a former England captain, Harry Kane, who's a former England captain. But I think that's people's stick to beat me with sometimes. If people actually, because people who follow me, most of my stuff's on YouTube now, YouTube and Facebook, will see that. I mean, the last Jamie Carragher, I never used Carragher, and that's nothing to do with Carragher. That's just like I'm focused more on managers or players type of thing. But people will know that there's a lot more to me than just doing Scousers. But you do get, I think that narrative's changed a bit now, just because of like the amount of characters I've done. Whether or not people rate them or blah. A lot of the stuff I do as well, Pete, it's caricature. And what I try to say to people is, you can do a straight impression of someone, but there's no comedy value in it. So you've got like Unai Emery. Like, I think a couple of Aston Villa fans get a bit upset because of the mannerisms and stuff like that. But if you just do a straight Unai Emery impression, it's not funny. So when I do Unai Emery, I'm like, my eyes are going everywhere and blah, blah, blah. I know he doesn't do that. He's never done that once. I'll do a Graham Potter one, believe it or not. But because he's got this little bit of a, I've emphasised on that. So when I do Graham Potter, it's like I'm emphasising, people go, he doesn't do it. I haven't seen him do it once, but it's like, you've got to make that character just a little bit funny. It's like, Rafa Benitez. I think he probably said clue every now and again. But when I'm doing Rafa, it's like, it works hard for the clue. He works up. And I make these noises that are like ridiculous sounds, but people like it. And it's just, with my characters, I've always tried to sort of give them like a little bit of a catchphrase. Steven Gerrard, of course. Harry Kane, obviously. Unai Emery, good evening. Reinvented that. Who else have I got? Wayne Rooney obviously is in. And then every character, Daniel Farke, when I do him, it's like, yes, of course, that's my large portion of big jam and sausage, yes, yes. And I'm sure like Daniel Farke would be within his rights. Now, I've met Daniel Farke. What a guy. What a nice guy. Not offended, nothing, loves it, great. And out of anyone, he'd probably have more reason to go, the German sausage thing. But it's just wordplay. You're not saying he wants to give anyone a large portion. He's saying that, he's got a hot dog that he wants to give people. He doesn't want to get his undies offering it. You know what I mean? It's just wordplay.
Yeah, but it's a caricature. You go to someone on the beach and they draw you with massive teeth and a big chin. You don't have that, but you're playing on a thing because it makes someone talk about it. Yeah. And that's, you want people to watch the videos, obviously, so that's why you do it. That's not wrong with doing that, is there, surely? So
I don't think so, but you said something before, mate, and you're right. People don't have to like it, and that's spot on, mate. And if you're a player, you don't have to like it, but just don't watch it and don't let it bother you. Yeah. It's that simple, isn't it? You know what I mean? You don't have to get your brother to ring and
I think the only time it's right is if it is you, and I think as long as you message once or something and just go, any chance you could calm it down, I think that's different. And because then it feels like they've shared an opinion, but I think, putting loads of messages, or as you say, if you're a fan,
Yeah.
Just don't engage with it. Just unfollow you and get off.
It's weird though, innit? Because like I think there's the girl who runs me Twitter was saying to me that there's this lad and he just like every video you post, like he just comes on and just keeps saying the same thing, but then he sends a compliment, says you're the best, then you're the worst, then you're robbing a living, then you're the king. It's like,
yeah,
it's just social media. I think sometimes as well, what I will say is that what I found really strange about social media, they keep saying it's this generation. If I'm being honest with you, the worst people on social media, they're not kids.
Yeah.
Some of them are in the 40s, some are in the 50s. When I see some old fella about like 65 with no teeth giving me grief, I'm like, my God, mate, take the kids to feed the ducks or something. What are you doing on here?
Yeah, I do agree with that. It is the older people, yeah. Right, okay, we're going to go on a couple of quick fire, like stories from you. You don't have to tell the thing, but just things I want to talk about, and then we'll go into football history and the debate.
Yeah, no
so,
worries.
just a couple of famous things you've been on and just what people were like and what the whole occasion was like. So, the Jason Cundy thing, I was driving home from footy last night and my dad was like, oh, please ask him about that. I already had it down, obviously, but he was like, so obviously you had Andy Goldstein, who's like, it's like Anton Decken in your ear telling you what to say, and then you're obviously winding them up. Was that easy to say yes to, and how was that whole thing, or maybe what people didn't say around it?
That was brilliant. That was brilliant, and I couldn't believe. I mean, it's funny with Jason Cundy because we were saying before, sometimes people put a caricature on. He's actually a great fella, Jason Cundy. And after it, I had a pint with him in London, and I know like he's not popular. It's clickbait, innit? But he, actually, when you go off, they're just nice, normal people. But I think when you go on the radio, TalkSport's just pure clickbait. But saying all that, Cundy's not very popular, obviously, with like Liverpool fans and blah, blah, blah. And when the idea come across, I was working with a sponsor at the time. And they were the ones who come to me and said, look, we want to do this video in combination with TalkSport. I didn't need Andy Goldstein there. I wish I could have just done it myself. And don't get me wrong, he wasn't saying anything, but I was like, oh, I could come up with stuff like this. Because it's not like, a lot of it was kind of in my head of like, oh, how I can get him. Oh, it was brilliant. I knew the moment that he started filming it. So when I went in there, and I just thought, he just said, this is the guy to get. And when I went in, soon as it started rolling, I could just see the fear in him. He just thought, they've got me. It was, oh my God. And I just thought, oh, you've got to go with this. I wanted to keep going. I didn't want it to end.
It's when he goes, like, oh, we'll start it again. And, it was like the 50th time we've restarted. You can see he's trying to save it, isn't he? You're like, oh, no.
He was devastated, And when I seen him, he was like sweating, going on, like literally sweating. And I just thought, oh, this is like probably one of the best things just in terms of like, because there's nothing better for me than like staying in character as well. So when you like stay in character, I remember doing one years ago. Do you remember the Radio City phone-ins?
Yeah.
So Ian St. John, God rest his soul, was on with Ian Snowden.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, they said, can you come on and do Peter Crouch? So I was like, okay, because I'd done Peter Crouch at the time. And he said, we're just going to ask you questions and blah, blah, blah. It went on for about 15 minutes. So they're asking me questions, I'm answering as Peter Crouch. I was like, when's it going to end? But I think they were enjoying it that much. The two lads were just thinking, like, but it was like, Ian St. John was like, but Peter, you've been great and blah, blah. I don't know what that was, by the way. Putin, I think. Yeah, he was... and it went on forever. And
so were you doing it straight, or were you making jokes like?
No, I was just doing it like it was an interview. So there was no gags. The prank was for them to think it was Peter Crouch, but it was how serious the interview was. The two of them were like waxing lyrical about him, and then it, obviously it turned out. But the prank stuff's great because if you can get someone, the Cundy one is honestly, mate. Even now when I'm walking around, people will say to me, "Oh, the Cundy phone call."
Yeah.
That's
a good one. And we'll go on to the next with Soccer AM and Rafa.
Yeah,
that was quite a good one as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've done Rafa loads. He was one of the most popular at the time as well. So to do it in front of him, he's obviously not the only person you've done an impersonation of them in front of. But on Soccer AM, that was obviously massive as well to do it.
Yeah.
There, what was he like, and what was the whole Soccer AM thing like?
Brilliant. Rafa was amazing. Soccer AM, probably honestly, in terms of the people, some of the nicest people I've ever worked with. What a really nice group of people, all of them. They were just so friendly. You can see why it was a success, because it was just like so relaxed. Everyone was so calm. Just, they couldn't do enough for you. Really, really nice people. And the Rafa thing, because when they asked me to do it, they said, Rafa we're not too sure whether Rafa will be all right with it. He was brilliant. And I just remember sitting in the green room, and I think he'd just gone to Inter Milan, because he left Liverpool. He'd left Inter Milan, I think just before he went to Chelsea. And he was talking about his kids in school in Italy and all that. And when you're just sitting there going, can't believe, the way we're sitting here now. He was just talking to me, and he was just telling me about like the kids in school and telling me about his kids. And he keeps saying, I want a butty instead of a sandwich. He's going, they are Scouse now, I cannot, they are Scouse. And I was just like, and I'm dressed as Rafa, he's dressed as Rafa. He was great. I've met him multiple times, and he's been an absolute gentleman every time. Just a top guy. When he went to Everton, I was heartbroken. Yeah. I had a laugh with it with the agent Rafa stuff, but I was gutted. Yeah, because not an Everton manager.
I've had most the players I've had in played under him, and every single player who's played under him doesn't really have many nice things to say about him. But if I can vouch, I did a book on the players who played for Liverpool and Everton. Yeah. I drove to his house. He had no reason to help me. Wrote a letter, passed to him, and he did the foreword to me book and all that. So for someone to be like that, but then so many players to like it's like a proper juxtaposition. And as you say, as fans, he's held to such high esteem, but maybe not as much so after.
It's a strange relationship because of Steve Warnock. I watched him on. Have you had Steve Warnock on?
No. I was on the Under the Cosh.
Under the Cosh. And Steve, and I felt really sorry for Steve after what happened to him. I just thought, wow, that is... You do hear a lot of people saying he's very cold. The only way I can look at it is like, he won European Cup. I've always said this, I'm not really... A manager's personality doesn't mean anything. As a fan, you just want them to win trophies. You just want them to do what... Arne Slot is probably on the verge of winning the Premier League with Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp will be one of them, if not the most popular Liverpool manager of all time. Slot could surpass him in terms of trophies. He could. You know what I mean? I know Klopp sort of was very unfortunate, but the connection Klopp had with the Liverpool supporters was incredible. Do you know what I mean? Compared to Arne Slot.
Managers is different to the way they act. Yeah. But then, what last thing then is the overlap as well. You went on that, and I was at Liverpool. In the M&S Arena in Liverpool, wasn't it? Yeah. So again, what were they all like? You said they're Roy Keane and that, but they're obviously massive at the moment.
Do you know what, mate? Roy Keane, and I've said this, he is my favourite person. I did love him as a player. You're a Liverpool fan, aren't you? It's like you love to hate them type of thing, but just a brilliant guy. I've done a couple of overlaps, so he done like a test one in Manchester, which I was lucky to be a part of, and I hadn't met Roy Keane and Gary Neville, and I went and opened it for them. I think it was the Apollo in Manchester, and I just remember Roy Keane just making a beeline for me. I know Carragher obviously really well; it's always great with me. And Roy Keane come over. There was like a tennis table, and in the green room, and he was like, "How are you? Blah blah." We got chatting. And it was like. I'm not saying it was not what I was expecting, but I just couldn't believe what a nice guy he was. I think we were talking about our dogs because he loves his dogs, and he was saying, I'll take the dogs for a walk and blah, blah. Asking me about what I do with the family. And then I met him again in Liverpool, and he remembered everything I said. He remembered my name, he remembered what I did, and blah blah blah. And he was just brilliant. And I thought, what a guy. But we had a game of table tennis. And he was unbelievable. Those people who were just good at everything. Yeah. And I can play table, but he absolutely annihilated me.
Not as good as Roy Keane, though.
Oh, what a day. I went home, I'd done the gig. The gigs are great because it's a football crowd. So the crowd love the stuff. And when you get a football crowd, it tends to go well. And it was a brilliant experience. I think the one in Manchester, there were a couple of thousand people, and then Liverpool, which was amazing as well. But I went home and just said to my wife, I've just played table tennis with Roy Keane. And he battered me. Yeah, so what a guy. Yeah. What a guy.
Right, okay, one last question for you on football history then. Just think about it then. Jamie Webster. Yeah. He made a similar decision in that he was fully Liverpool-centric and then pivoted off. Did you talk about him with that at all? Or have you spoken about him? I'm glad he did it. What's your thoughts on it?
I'm glad he did it. The Jamie thing was unbelievable. I remember doing it... I think it was the Owen McVeigh Foundation, which is a lovely charity. And we'd done something. I think it was Cardoline in school, and Jamie would have only been young, little skinhead, dead quiet, doing a song. And I remember going, "Oh, mate, you know, it's amazing what you're doing," and blah, blah, blah. And then I just remember seeing some kid in like Kiev on his guitar. I was going, "That's the same kid." And just unbelievable what he's achieved. What so clever as well with the Liverpool songs, like massive. But he's a talented musician, and it's like you have to make a decision. That's not disrespect on what's give you your opportunity, which was of course football. But we've all got to start somewhere. And when I seen that he'd kind of gone, right, no more football stuff, I felt like applauding. I just thought, good on you, mate.
Yeah,
I get that. And look at him. He's flying.
Sefton Park, that was all right, wasn't it?
Brilliant, mate, brilliant. Don't give me any tickets.
Right, we'll have a chat about football history.
Are your ulcerative colitis symptoms proving difficult to manage? Tremfya guselkumab can help you manage the cycle of UC symptoms. At 1 year, many patients taking Tremfya achieved clinical remission, and some patients also achieved endoscopic remission. Individual results may vary. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and TB. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Ask your doctor if Tremfya can help you manage the cycle of UC symptoms. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more, or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Yeah. And first thing I want to do is talk about your top 5 Liverpool players of all time. Hello everyone, just a really quick message to remind you about our Patreon. From just £1 a month, you can support the podcast, and in return, you get an extra section at the end of each interview where I ask the questions that you send in from home. There's also a monthly quiz where we do stuff like Family Fortunes, Pointless, The Chase, loads of other stuff. Previous guests, new faces, it's always a good laugh, always worth a watch. That comes out every single month. And now, exclusively, there's a new benefit. You get entered into a prize draw for signed items like this. So this is from John Scales. It's a 94 to 96 kit for Liverpool, signed by John, and this is thanks to exclusive private signings who have given us a load of shirts that we're going to give away, one each month. So all you got to do is get over to patreon.com/thefootballhistorianpodcast. You can win a signed shirt, extra section, a quiz every month. What more do you want? Back the podcast, back the lads. Let's get back to the episode.
This is quite straightforward, I'd say.
If you want to go 5-1 to make it more dramatic, feel free, but you can just list it.
I know, I don't think there's an order. I mean, I think me one would surprise you though, because me one, I just love him. I just think he's the greatest. He's just the greatest. Oh no, it won't. Maybe two might surprise you. Okay. Obviously, is this in my lifetime?
So, if I was you, I'd say something before it, because if you pick a top 5, everyone will hate everything you say.
I didn't see. I'm used to that. So number 5, David Coote. No, I didn't see Kenny Dalglish, so I can't. This is my top 5 of what I've seen as a fan. So okay. Could have prepped me. Okay, maybe not in order, but Steven Gerrard's got to be. Steven Gerrard. I mean, Steven Gerrard. Am I all right to elaborate on the players?
Of course, yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course. Love
I
rob me job, man.
I get grief
for that all the time. You go to Starbucks and I'm like, can I have a cappuccino? Yeah, of course. Can I have sugar? Yeah, of course. Brilliant. No, I love that, mate. Love it. Yeah, Steven Gerrard. I mean, when he first come on the scene, believe it or not, I wrote a Match magazine when I was a kid. And I think it was Mark Bright and I said Steven Gerrard is a young player in Liverpool's. Well, he'd scored against Sheff Wed. I think that was the first time I'd seen him, and I was like, oh my God, skinhead. Young Gerrard, skinhead, horrible Gerrard was the best.
The Preds.
Gerrard, sort of, that's where he started to do combing his hair before games, and I wasn't my type of Gerrard, but still an unbelievable player, one of the best, in the club's history. Amazing, and I thank him for I think not just Istanbul, but the 2005 campaign. Without that lad, Liverpool don't win it. End of story. And listen, we can say Carre, there's all kinds of players, but he just led. Talk about leadership. I mean, wow. Steven Gerrard is in my top 5. The next one, Virgil van Dijk. 100%. He'd probably be number 2. I'm sorry if I'm going a bit ski with you. It's funny, innit? But like, it's not as like straightforward. But Virgil van Dijk, for me, could be the greatest signing in the club's history. And I say that because without him, Liverpool don't win the league, don't win the Champions League. He for me, people talk about the front three, Mane, Salah, Firmino, all that type of thing. Van Dijk, I have never seen. He's the best defender I've ever. And listen, from no bias, I'm sure you'll find United, Arsenal, Everton fans, he is the greatest centre half that's ever played the game. Didn't see Alan Hansen, didn't see Beckenbauer, blah blah blah. I'm sorry, Van Dijk, he is the man. Incredible, a leader, just everything about him. Absolutely love him. I've got to put Jamie Carragher in. I have. I've got to put the reason I've got to put him in.
Is your mate?
No, do you know? No, I've always loved him, Jamie Carragher. No, honestly, genuinely, right. The reason that I love Jamie Carragher is you think about when he first came on the team, centre mid, and I think then under Gerrard he went left back. I think Liverpool signed about 10 left backs: Christian Ziege, Jimmy Traore, so many left backs. He's not even a left back. He looked uncomfortable there. Played his heart out, kept him out the team. I think he bought loads of right backs. Carragher kept him out the team. Rafa comes in. He's one of the best centre halves in Europe. 2 European Cup finals, him and Sami Hyypiä. Not only that, he was a leader. And the stick he got for years, Carragher. Like, you know, on phone-ins years ago, there'd be phone-ins. He's not good enough, blah, blah, blah. Talk about working hard to get to where you're at. And just love him. You go to Anfield and you can hear a pin drop. You can hear his voice everywhere.
Yeah.
And he was a leader. Okay.
I think the thing with him as well, just to touch on it, is that he always said he wasn't the best player, but he'd get in front of the player and in front of him.
He would, yeah.
And he'd raise his level every time to get down. You don't. When he came in, he was a good player. But he ends up being, I think he got the Ballon d'Or vote for the 25th best player in the world, I think, after Istanbul.
Yeah.
So that's some compliment for the player that many say didn't have that much skill, wasn't that quick, wasn't the best passer of the ball, yet somehow he was pretty good when he...
And you know, we were saying about like top 5 Liverpool players, you've got to think of my time as a Liverpool fan. It would have been, he won the treble, he won Istanbul, we should have won another European Cup final. He was there for, 10 to 12, was it 13 years maybe? I sort of he was there for a lot longer, but I love him. I love him for his leadership, and I love him because he represents us as fans, Jamie Carragher. So, anyway, so ego biscuit, I'm only messing. Luis Suarez, absolutely unbelievable. Where am I putting Suarez? Probably Suarez would be 4 maybe, and then who else have I named? Carragher would be 5. Carragher 5. 4 would be Suarez. 3 Gerrard. No, sorry, 3 Van Dijk, 2 Gerrard. I'm talking about Suarez now, aren't I? Sorry. Yes. Luis Suarez. I mean, what can you say? What a player. Unbelievable. Just, you know, I thought with Torres, when I look back at Torres was unbelievable. He was for the club. What a player. I'm sure people will include him in the top 5. An unbelievable player, but Suarez for me, he got the ball and you were just like, something's going to happen. If you put him in the Klopp team, my God, imagine him, Salah, him on one wing, Salah on the other team. I think he was sort of in at the wrong time. Well, he was in the Brendan Rodgers era, weren't he? Quite right, Brendan Rodgers, to be honest with you, but I think he just, wrong time, wasn't ready for it. And that front three was unbelievable. Sturridge, Sterling, Suarez, but what a player.
Coutinho in behind them.
Coutinho. He made a good decision, didn't he? Yeah. Where's he playing now?
Yeah, well,
Dog and Duck.
Van Dijk's in your top 5, that's why, because of him. So
that's the one, mate. Spot on. But number 1, and you know it is. I think he's the greatest player to play for the club. Not just saying it because he's a player now. It's a debate that people will talk about, but I just don't know how you can't. Mo Salah is just... I mean, I absolutely adore the fella. He's so... I felt he was underappreciated. I don't think... If you ask any Liverpool fan, they all love him. But I just almost felt like there was a time with Mane where people were going, Mane's our main man. They were all main men. But I just thought, he does it week in, week out. He's so consistent. He works so hard for the team. He's not like a Ronaldo or Messi who just goes, give me the ball. He fights back. He got better.
Yeah.
He shaved his head. I don't know whether that's for Arnie Slot. He's trying to do his hair like Arnie Slot. But he just amazes me. He amazes me. I can't think of a time where I'm so desperate for Liverpool to keep hold of him, because it's like, I know we've always replaced players, and I get that. He can't be replaced. He can't. Not for me. I think someone was saying to me the other day about, if he does go and get Isak from Newcastle or whatever, as much as I love Isak, how can you improve on perfection? Mo Salah's numbers can't be improved on. I don't even think he can be matched. This man is just, he's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
He is unbelievable.
Well, he's currently being compared to Messi, and I think Messi definitely is better than Salah before I say what I'm about to say. But the Premier League level of what the numbers that Salah's getting now, definitely playing against Ipswich and whoever in the back, Southampton, will be tougher games than what Messi has to play against the bottom of the league in La Liga. So for him to do that against everyone, I think should be held.
Well, Messi, that's the only thing. That's why I always put Ronaldo above Messi, because Ronaldo's done it everywhere. Yeah. Where hasn't Ronaldo been? Messi, Messi should have come to the Prem. He should have done. It would have been amazing for the Prem, amazing for him. And I think it's the one league where you really have to prove yourself as a footballer. Don't get me wrong, I love Messi, but I've always put Ronaldo just a cusp over him, just because Ronaldo's done it.
But we'll go on to them two in a sec. So don't
sorry, mate. Sorry,
don't worry.
But
I want to ask you just about Mo Salah. I think you are the first person to put him number one. I've Liverpool fan. I've asked him.
The greatest Liverpool player of all time for me, mate.
That's fine. Was there a moment that made him go from 3 to 2, 2 to 1? What do you think it was? Just because he's still playing?
I think this season. So I think if we were having this discussion last year, I probably would have had Steven Gerrard as the greatest I've seen. Now, it's a funny one because I have not arguments about it, but people go, Kenny Dalglish. But I've never seen him play. So I can't say, Kenny Dalglish is the number one Liverpool player. I've seen clips of him play. Didn't watch him play. I couldn't make that assertion. So a lot of people will go, how can you not put him in your top 5? That's nothing against. I love Kenny Dalglish, but I didn't see him. So this is my time as a Liverpool fan. Because I'm not saying Jamie Carragher is a better player than Kenny Dalglish before people start saying that. I'm not saying most of them are, to be honest with you. But I think this season, I can't believe he's got better. Yeah. And he's not old. I'm not saying he's old, but I just think he's just getting better. He's getting better. And I just think to myself, like, just watching this season, he's the difference, I think. He's the difference between... I think
especially the way that he came back from African Cup of Nations last season. Yeah. Didn't play well at all. And I think a lot of people would have sold him and said, that's him done.
I mean, the conversation was there, mate. Yeah. When people were going, cash in now. Yeah. Cash in. I think I seen Carragher saying something about this the other day. And a lot of people were like, this is the moment to cash in on him, whether it was Saudi. He won't want to go and play in Saudi. Mo Salah is too good. Listen, I understand players taking this money in Saudi. Mo Salah has to stay in the Premier League. I can't picture him in another shirt. He is just phenomenal. Honestly, I'd be devastated if he left Liverpool. And I understand the strategy of, an FSG, whatever people think of them, they've got it right so much when it comes to this. This is one for me when it comes to Van Dijk and Salah. I think the trend thing's different because I think he's already made his mind up. I think he will go. I don't even hold that against him. I totally get it. He's won the league. He's won the Champions League. He wants to go and be with his Bezzy, Jude Bellingham. I can't begrudge the lad that. And it's not like Conor Bradley's sensational. I love that lad. But Van Dijk and Salah, you got to get them sorted. I think that is the difference. Seriously, right? You lose them two players. I think that's the difference. I don't even think Liverpool are in any title race next season. That's how big they are for us. That's how I see it anyway.
That's fair enough. I think mention FSG as well. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Paul Joyce who said that they never even spoke to Salah when those Saudi offers came in on a footballing decision. They turned them down because they wanted Salah to stay. So if they were money hungry and all that, you just got rid of him and took the money, wouldn't you? So.
Yeah, and maybe as well. I mean, Liverpool have always been very good at keeping things in house. So maybe behind the scenes, it's just when he come out, I think he was a Paul Gorst in the Echo he spoke to, and didn't he say something like, if I talk, there'll be fire or something, or was that over Klopp? Might have been something different, but I think it was like, I thought, okay, that was the only sign or time where I got a bit concerned. But you know what, when you just watch what he's doing on the pitch, I just think maybe behind the scenes they've gone, don't worry, we'll get it sorted. That's my feeling.
We hope. We'll carry on a little bit more at Liverpool, then we're going to the rest of football. Your first football in memory, what comes to mind?
Wow. First football in memory. Do you know what? It's so weird, you know. It's going to be so weird, this one. Right? I can remember watching Liverpool play Aston Villa in a pub. I was at a christening, but everyone at the christening wanted to go and watch the match. And Aston Villa beat us, and I remember who scored for Villa. Do you remember Ian Taylor?
Oh, yeah.
Midfielder. Yeah. He scored for Aston Villa. And that's like, it just come to me mind then, because I could have only been about 6 or 7 or something like that. The first game I went to, actually, at Anfield, was Ian Rush's testimonial. I think it was Stoke. I think we played Stoke, and I think it was about 6-0 or 6-1 or something like that. And then I went and bought my own ticket. This is when you could go and get your own ticket. We played West Ham. I think I was about 10. And West Ham scored a corner. A fella called Mark Keller. I don't know if you remember him. Just hit it. I think he was an Australian fella, and he just smashed it straight in. And I think Fowler and Owen scored. Because I didn't know... There wasn't really like father figures type of thing to take me to match when I was a kid, if you get what I mean. So I kind of took myself. Lived in Kenny, and I started getting the bus I'll never forget going to the ticket office one time in my school uniform, and the woman trying to get a kid's ticket, and the woman going, "How can you prove you're a kid?" I said, "Got my school uniform." She went, "Anyone can put one of them on." It's like, but then I started going to games. Then would have been end of Roy Evans, started Gerard Houllier, and then under Rafa, I went home and away for about 3 seasons. That was one of my favourite times to be a Liverpool fan. I absolutely loved that. When they won the European Cup, he was just brilliant. Really good. Loved that team I love Xabi Alonso. By the way, he just misses out on my top 5. I love Xabi Alonso. That team I absolutely loved. But sorry, mate. Yeah, earliest memory, Ian Taylor for Aston Villa. Weird, but
that's all good. And then, so you still go to the game? Not go to the game as much?
Mate, no. Listen, I'll hold my hands up. I went home and away, and then what I was finding was I was away a lot of the weekends and that, whether it was doing like corporate work. I've got other little businesses and stuff, so my mind was sort of occupied with them. And when I had my kids and that, me weekends with my kids were more important. Still are now, and I just. Yeah, the experience of going to a game, it wasn't the same. I was going with my mates a lot back in the day, and I don't drink that much, so my mates would go and have a drink. It's like a pub thing, and it just changed. And I just think there's people probably more deserving of a ticket than me. Do you get what I mean? So I've been offered a couple of big tickets for games and gone, I'll take it, but it's going to one of me match going red mates, you know what I mean? I'm not a match going no more. I'm not. I think as well, because of what I do, I took my stepson to a match, and I nearly lost him at the ground because people were stopping for like, and I'm not even like, you know, there was only a couple of people recognising me, but he was only young, and I nearly lost him outside the ground, and I was just a bit sort of wary then. Believe it or not, I'm not a massive fan of like sort of the fame side of it. You get what I mean? So when you're in the match, and you know, even though it's dead nice and complimentary or whatever, I just think the match, it's a bit weird. It's because you're a bit confined type of thing. It just wasn't the same. It's probably the best way to describe it.
You definitely get stopped, don't you? If you're in the cop or at Anfield, if there's ever a place you're going to get recognised, it's probably there.
By the way, I don't mean that from like a superstar thing.
No, of course. But as you say, if there's ever a place where you're going to get that, it's a Liverpool match. Right then, well, what is the best game you've ever been to then?
Chelsea semi-final, 2005. Yeah, Istanbul. I still hear the atmosphere in me ears now. One of the greatest games, the atmospheres, the crowd, just the moment when for me, it's just like the greatest fans in the world. I've never seen any, and the desperation of wanting to win that game was phenomenal. It was one of the most painful games to watch. That good Johnson chance still haunts me, even though it never went in. Still think it's gonna go in every time I see it. Carragher diving. But that's the greatest game I've been to, just for atmosphere, just for emotion. I was on a high for about 3 or 4 days. Believe it or not, there was a bigger high to come a month later in Istanbul, which I didn't go to Istanbul, but the the emotion of that was my favourite game, mate. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, but I always think that as well. Not just Liverpool, everyone must have this about their own stadium, their own fans. You never actually have that moment at your own ground to celebrate it, unless you have that Aguero moment at City. Most of the times when you win the league, you've won it with a few games to go and you feel it coming. Or and then stuff like that, or like a semi-final where like you go, yes, but we still got to do one more step. But as you say, that to be able to have a moment like that at your own ground, that must be the peak of it. So that Aguero moment must be.
It was the underdog thing as well, though, mate. You spot on there, the Aguero thing, to win it like that. And as you said, like, you know, if you win it with 3 or 4 games to go, it's like sort of the COVID season when we won it. Yeah. It was so half-hearted, like.
You don't have a moment, that's what it is, I think.
Yeah, it's a moment, isn't it? And that is probably the most famous moment, the Aguero thing. 100%, mate. That was incredible. And even like when Blackburn won the league at Anfield, it was like, you know, the noise coming in 0-0, Man United and West Ham. And that Chelsea one, I think, you know, people will go, the greatest game. The reason that it was the greatest game for me was that season. Liverpool weren't meant to do anything. And I just remember, I hated Mourinho. I hated Chelsea for what they were, manufactured, money. They were horrible. They were so good. You know, that span of Terry, Lampard, Drogba. What a team. And that night, you know, we had, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but our team, Milan Barros, was a Dudek in goal, Jimmy Traore, Igor Biscan. And I don't mean to be disrespectful, but man for man, Chelsea, tactically, Benitez was unbelievable in the European Cup. Some of those results we had, Juventus, Real Madrid, just incredible. And I don't think another manager would have got them results, because he was. Sometimes you have to be horrible to win games. And if you look back at them games, they're not great to watch.
Yeah.
They won us probably our most famous European Cup, and oh my God, that atmosphere was unbelievable, mate.
I think many still reflect on that as the best.
Yeah.
Especially in modern history that Anfield's had. Yeah. Right, we'll go on to non-Liverpool stuff in that. The top 5 non-Liverpool players of all time. Okay. You can pick anyone, they just can never have played for Liverpool.
Okay, is it Dan? Got to be in there, hasn't he? Jesus, what a player, mate. Just unbelievable. Again.
Stare at him. That's
why. There he is. Yeah.
He's on mine, not yours.
Yeah. Obviously, this fella won't be on it, only because I didn't see him play.
Yeah. No, that's so the amount of times that I have
some adverts, like, didn't buy any of his products.
Yeah. All Pele stuff, yeah.
You can keep more than the ball up, that guy. But Zidane. I mean, wow, mate, what a player. I'm just so, again, I just wish he played in the Premier League. These players, you go, I think if it was this era, I think we would. But at the time, Real Madrid, you know, those types of teams, I understand why he played there. So he'd be 1. Who'd be 2nd? Wow. Got to be Messi, obviously. Messi. Just an unbelievable player. And what can you say about Messi? He's just, you know, obviously, and I understand these people's the greatest player ever. Again, I wish he would have played in the Premier League, just because it'd have been a joy it'd have been great to watch him, wouldn't it? Stoke City away, Tony Pulis. Oh, it would have been fantastic. Cristiano Ronaldo is another one. Just an unbelievable player. You know, you can, even when he come back with United, you think about how bad Man United have been in the last couple of years. You think about how poor they've been. I think he still scored like 25 goals when he came back. And I don't even think their old team scored that many, have they, this season? Yeah. Like, I actually don't know if they have.
Wouldn't surprise me, yeah.
With those 2 lads up front. My God, the Tuchel brothers. But just what a player. Fantastic. And also my kind of player as well. Powerful, great in the air. You know, the goals he scored, he was still playing now. Fair play to him. I think he does the same workout as me, actually, with the 6-pack. But okay, mate. So I've got 2 left.
Yep. Xavi's in the Astas, Ronaldinho, Henry. Who else is good around that time? Ronaldo. Yeah.
Brazilian Ronaldo. Okay, he's going in. He was an unbelievable player. Inter Milan, just like. Did Christian Vieri play with up front for Inter Milan?
Definitely same era, yeah, but he played up front.
God, he was a boss player as well. I mean, it's funny, everyone's got their own favourites, haven't they? You think about players like Costa Coote when he was playing.
Your Maldini,
yeah, he'd obviously be in there as well. I think Ronaldinho will have to go in. Like, I mean, what a player, mate.
Yep.
Like, what a player, yeah. Dare me 5, yeah. Sorry, I still
No, don't be silly. What do you think is the best era of football?
The best era? I mean, my favourite era was, like, probably the 90s, early noughties. I go back to, like, sort of, I seen a clip, I think it was Sky Sports years, and Vieira and Roy Keane in the tunnel. And just the look of pure hatred between them. Now they're all kissing and hugging each other before a game. And just that pure, like... I mean, I seen Gary and Phil Neville, brothers. Did you see that clip? You wouldn't even look at each other. And I just thought, that is unbelievable.
Captain of United, Captain of Everton in the tunnel. You think, look, we've done all right here, haven't we? And now,
incredible. And they're just like, don't even look at me. Not even related to you. I'd probably say 90s, because when I think about football, I love the throwback. I was in a taxi the other day actually speaking to a fella, and we were talking about the Pink Echo, saying about, remember when the Pink Echo, you remember that? Do you remember the Pink Echo?
It was before me, but I know what it was.
Bit before. You're a lot younger than me, sorry mate. Yeah, I'm so old I forget. The Pink Echo was, you know, it was a throwback of like when we're so saturated now, aren't we, with football? We can get the results, they'll ping up on your phone, Sky Sports News, Soccer Saturday. It's just ping. Whereas back in the day, you know, if Liverpool were playing at 3 o'clock, I sound so old, don't I?
Back in my day.
If Liverpool were playing, I remember a derby once where I think it was Ronnie Rosenthal scored very late and Liverpool won 1-0. And it was on the radio. And I was listening to me mate's dad was cleaning his car. And we were listening on his radio in the car. It was the only way we knew what the score was. And I just remember standing outside the shop waiting for the Pink Echo to find out the score, because we didn't know whether the goal was allowed or there was some confusion or whatever. And then I got the Pink Echo. But I just remember, social media's give me like an unbelievable opportunity with me impressions, and sometimes I can contradict myself a bit because I say, I wish we could go back, but I'm so lucky because social media's changed my life. Even though I've got my own issues with it, it's quite a contradictory thing, you know what I mean? But I do sometimes go, how great was it when we just had a little bit? We just had Match of the Day, and, you know, we just had the Pink Echo. We did, not you, mate. And I just think now it's so saturated and, you know, it's constant and constant.
You can stay away from the score until Match of the Day back in the day. Imagine that now. It's hard to stay away from it in the ground while everything else is going on because you hear it or constantly, don't you?
Absolutely, mate. You can't, you know, you literally... I'd say 90s, mate. Late 90s, and definitely that sort of early era. And strikers, I just remember like Alan Shearer, like Les Ferdinand. I'm talking Premier League at the time, you know. Those types of strikers were just phenomenal. You said Thierry Henry there. Like, my God, what a team that team was. The Arsenal team, but yeah, that's my favourite, mate.
Okay, last question before we go into the debate, that's what we'll finish on.
Okay.
The all-time five-a-side team. This can be anyone, any team, any era. Who would you pick?
Okay, also, so we need a goalie.
Yep.
That's interesting. Okay, so my goalie, Peter Schmeichel. What a goalkeeper. What a goalkeeper. I know people will go, you've got your Buffons and blah, blah, blah. I've never seen a better goalie than him. He is just... He won games for United. I think, like, he probably won titles for them. Just, you know, you see some of his saves, just the way he spread himself. The lad's not bad as well, is he? Casper still playing. Peter Schmeichel's in goal. This is not Liverpool, is it, mate?
It could be anyone. Any team, any era. Liverpool, non-Liverpool.
Virgil van Dijk's my centre-half, 100%. Only one at the back. Why do you need anyone else with Virgil? He just covers the back line. Spot on. Steven Gerrard would... Steven Gerrard would be in there. I know it's very Liverpool.
But... You've got one United in there. That's
true. That's true. Get stick for that. Steven Gerrard. Mo Salah. It's just Liverpool, isn't it? It's a good team, though, isn't it?
Yep.
Still a good team. And who else would I go with? So we've got Van Dijk. Zidane. Okay.
That's quite good.
Zidane, Gerrard in the middle. Think about that. You've got young skinner Gerrard, and you've got the classy Zidane, and you've got Mo Salah, and then you've got Van Dijk at the back, Schmeichel in goal. It's not a bad five-a-side team, is it?
So one's just got injured, you've got a super sub. Who'd you bring on?
Oh, interesting. Oh, you need someone who can play at the back. hang on a minute, I'm use my head here. Because I could probably put Gerrard up front. So it'd need to be Messi. Yeah. I'll have left him up and start man up.
He'd be there on the sidelines waiting for a chance.
Yeah. I might let you on, Liam.
Give us 5 minutes. Yeah. Okay, great. Well, we'll finish off with the debate.
Okay, mate.
The debate.
And this is where we keep track of the answers and we're trying to settle the biggest debates in football history.
Okay.
So, I know what you're going to say for a couple of them, but the first one is Gerrard, Lampard and Scholes. Can you put them in order for us?
I would go 3 Scholes, 2 Lampard, and I will probably come on to Lampard again. I think he's so... We'll come on to him. Frank Lampard, 2, Gerrard, 1, definitely.
Yeah, and it's wise.
I was never really a runner. The way I see running is a gift, especially when you have stage 4 cancer. I'm Anne. I'm running the Boston Marathon, presented by Bank of America. I run for Dana-Farber Cancer Institute to give people like me a chance to thrive in life, even with cancer.
Join Bank of America in helping Anne's cause. Give if you can at BofA.com/supportAnne. What would you like the power to do? References to charitable organizations is not an endorsement by Bank of America Corporation. Copyright 2025.
Lampard better than Scholes? Could we say that, maybe?
I just think in terms of... I think he's very underrated. Yes. Very underappreciated. I've never seen a midfielder to score so many goals. And he's done a lot more than what people think. I thought he was a fantastic player.
Yeah, it's good. The next one is Pele or Maradona.
Obviously, I didn't see them, but I probably would go with Pele. Yeah.
He's the only man to win 3 World Cups, which I think is... that probably says a lot.
Yeah.
But a lot of people find Maradona more fun. I think it's why he gets more votes.
Yeah, he's a big cheat though.
They're both all right again. Next one is Messi or Ronaldo.
Ronaldo.
Because you've kind of touched on it before, but just say why is Ronaldo.
Ronaldo played in the Premier League. Ronaldo played in... I was going to say Spain then, so did Messi. Ronaldo played... Where didn't he play for...
Juve.
Played for Juve, so he'd done Italy, didn't he?
Yeah,
I'm sure he's covered a bit more ground, but the Premier League's the main one for me. I think you've got to do it in the Premier League. I think there's a lot of players who've come over here and they haven't been able to do it. A lot of lads who are in Spain are classed as some of the best strikers going. I think that was a Soldado came here.
Yeah.
He was awful. Aspas for Liverpool. Wow.
Morata didn't do much at Chelsea.
Morata, so I think to myself, would Messi have been? Ronaldo proved it. He proved it when he come back and he was like 34, 35 to do that. I'm sorry, but it's a close call, don't get me wrong, but that's what wins Ronaldo for me, yeah.
Okay, next one is goalkeepers. Buffon, Casillas and Neuer. Could you put them in an order?
Buffon, Casillas. I'm not a fan of Casillas. I think he's weak. I don't think... goalies should be strong and big, and I think he's... Yeah, not a fan of him. Don't get me wrong, he's had a great career, but I think he got away with a lot because of the team he played for and sort of the support he had. I'd probably go with Neuer. I would. I'd probably go with Buffon second, and then I'd probably go with... I've seen more than Neuer as well, but he's a big, strong unit, and that's what you need.
He's been at the first of the modern keepers as well, when he kind of changed the way people play.
But he isn't... Well, we'll come on. I think... We'll come on to it. Go on, mate. Go on.
Don't worry. Yeah. The next one, I know exactly what you're going to say, but just because some people have said it, I feel like I need to settle it here.
Yeah.
So it's Salah or Hazard.
Is that a debate?
Honestly, and I've put a few clips up, and people, even in the comments, aren't happy with what I think is the obvious answer.
Oh my! Is that even a debate?
Mika Richards has gone with Hazard, and even Curtis Jones said he'd rather watch Hazard than Salah. But who would you say?
I'm speechless. I mean, what a player, Hazard, but he just... That's not even a debate. It's Mo Salah. I mean, wow. I don't know what to say. That's shocking to me that's a debate. I mean, you could put Salah into sort of... I suppose... I'm trying to think who else you could put him up against, but Eden Hazard, as good as he was... Don't remember him hitting half the numbers Mo Salah was hitting. So
the argument, which I don't agree with, so just playing devil's advocate, the argument is he was like better to watch and more of a player.
Football freestyler. The footy freestylers, don't look at me doing loads of keep-ups. I'm great. Can't get a game in a Sunday League team. It's fake, isn't it?
Yeah, that's good. I agree. If Messi and Ronaldo are the best players of the last 10, 15 years, who would you put behind them?
Oh, wow. The last Messi and Ronaldo, the last 15 years. So what are we on now?
2025.
So from 2010. That's a really interesting one. Was Henry playing it? Was he a bit before then?
His peak was definitely he was boss in 2004 when he said that's a good 6 years later.
Oh, I'm not. That's a tough one, that mate.
So we have like Suarez, Neymar, Bale. Iniesta was mentioned again. I think he's a bit too late. We've had people like that mentioned.
Yeah, I suppose Iniesta will come into it, defo, mate. He was a brilliant player. Do you know who I think is so? I remember going to see Liverpool Man United, and I know I take the piss out of this fella, by the way, but I remember saying he's one of the best players I've seen live in my life, Wayne Rooney. What a player.
Yeah.
Should have mentioned him before. He wouldn't be in any of them lists, don't get me wrong. But I couldn't believe how good he was. He was. I mean, I know it's not a secret how good he was, but I've never seen a player. Honestly, watching him live, I think he scored. Actually, we got beat 1-0 at Anfield, and I remember saying he is like his touch, everything, his build. It just didn't make sense, and he just honestly, what a player he was. What a player. I'm not saying he's ahead of Iniesta, but again. You know, he done it in the top division. Not only that, Rooney done it. He scored goals. He created goals. He was a leader. Brilliant player. Just had to give him a little...
No, definitely, yeah. And I think you've in Neville and all that talk about the players that Ferguson used to let not defend. I think when Ronaldo was at his pump, he didn't have to get back, but you wouldn't not see Rooney putting tackles in and
I mean, you look at that front three. I think it was it Ronaldo, Rooney, and was it Park? The
lads
up front,
and they had Tevez as well.
And Tevez, I think. I think it was Tevez, mate. Gee, what a team that was. It's not as good now, are they?
Yeah, that's prepared to about now. Yeah. So who's after Messi and Ronaldo? Who's your name?
Oh, I named everyone, didn't I? Iniesta, mate.
Iniesta. Yeah. Okay, good. Right, next one. Again, I probably know what you're going to say, but I asked club or country. So the question is, if you were captain of Liverpool to win the league or captain of England to win the World Cup, what would you pick?
Oh, captain of Liverpool all day. Yeah, like, it's not even debatable.
Yeah. Like, some people don't agree. That's why I ask it, but most people have asked.
I'm not. You know what? I'm not like how can I put it? I've never been into international football. I've never been like come on England, but I'm not like. I've actually met a couple of the lads who are in this England squad, and I really like them. So, you want them to do well. I think Harry Kane's an unbelievable player as well. I think it's a bit strange with Tuchel. I know Tuchel's assistant, Anthony Barry, really well. He's a great lad, an unbelievable coach. But I think that I almost feel like even if Tuchel wins something, they'll go, well, you have to get a German to win you something type of thing. It just doesn't, I don't know what it is, but I can't really see the England diehards getting behind this one. I just can't.
Yeah, well,
I will for Anthony Barry, who I really like. So I hope they obviously do really well.
But you seen with Slot, I think a lot of people have said whoever's in after Klopp, I wouldn't be able to do it. But if you start winning games, it quickly changes.
We're going to have to discuss.
Yeah, go on. You can talk about it. We've tried.
I mean, I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. And again, I mean, we talk about player recruitments. Is this one of the greatest manager recruitments that's ever? You think about the names, Ruben Amorim. He's doing well, isn't he? Where's he now? Ruben Amorim. Obviously, Xabi Alonso, who I think would have done an unbelievable job. He's going to be an elite coach. And I think he is. He's incredible. No one was talking about Arne Slot. People didn't even know him. No. I knew him from him getting linked with the Tottenham job, which he didn't get. I think he turned it down, actually. Yeah. Everyone turned it down. Can't blame them, can you? I think my nan turned it down, actually. But I couldn't believe the impact. And people go, oh, yeah, but look at the players. No, I'm not having any of that. I just think he's come in seamlessly. He's not just come in after a good manager. He's come in after possibly after Shankly, maybe, the most iconic Liverpool manager ever. And people were in tears, emotional. Everyone was like, what are we going to do? This guy has just come in and just gone, hold me beer, as they say in the GIFs. I can't believe how well he's done. Not only that, his management is unbelievable. He's ruthless. He makes great decisions, tactical-wise, substitution-wise. He doesn't, how can I put it? The only time I've seen him get flustered was the derby, but the emotion of the derby is, I don't think anyone's ready for that. That derby was insane.
And there were some dodgy decisions in his defence as well, to be fair.
Yeah, David Coote should have been the man for that. What a guy. Michael Oliver, I mean, that's probably one of the worst. And not from a biased point of view, it was a horrific performance from the referee.
That game made Arsenal fans think he's not biased against them. He's just a terrible ref, which I think maybe says a lot more about his performance.
No, definitely. And I've always liked Michael Oliver. I've said he's probably the pick of the bunch, which isn't a compliment, by the way.
Yeah.
But he was so poor. He couldn't control that game.
Yeah.
You know, it's a derby. Everton's last derby at Goodison Park. It's, Liverpool going for the league. The emotion of it. And listen, I've got no problem with even the Everton emotions at the end, and I take the piss on my social media. It's not personal. Half the time, it's not even what I think. I had no problem with that. The emotion of that was totally understandable. It was amazing. I had no problem with the Coote dancing in front of Liverpool fans. No problem with Curtis Jones going to fill him in. That was one of the best derbies I've watched in years. I absolutely loved it. And it was... I wasn't sure about the parade the next day, though. The Everton parade. I think he just had the cup like that, didn't he? But no, do you know what, mate? I think that was almost like the 90s. That going back that game, without going off the beaten track, mate. That derby was. But sorry, the Arne Slot thing. I just think it's so easy to say like, oh, but look at what Klopp set up for him. In my time watching football, I've never seen this. I've never seen a manager come in, follow another manager. Think about when Ferguson left Man United. That squad wasn't bad.
No.
Rooney, Rio Ferdinand, Vidic, Ryan Giggs. It was a good squad.
Yeah, it was old as the only defence.
Yeah, old maybe.
But still, yeah.
Old, yeah, I get what you're saying.
He did just win the league as well. So
he won the league. He knew when to get out Fergie, I think. And he knew what managers to put in. Moisey. But yeah, Arne Slot. I mean... I love him. Yeah, absolutely love him.
And for anyone listening, he is on your shirt as well. On your jumper.
He is on my shirt, DarrenFarleyShop.com. Get on it, get on it.
Awesome. Right, last couple of questions then. Want to do the most overrated player of all time first?
Oh, God, how many? How much time have you got? Paul Pogba's got to be up there. Yeah. Wow. Can someone please explain that? What? Has he got nice boots or something like that? Mate, I can't get my head around the Paul Pogba thing. I've seen him do a couple of decent things, but every 6 months, like, and that on that type of money. I mean, Pogba was so overrated for me. Mario Balotelli's another one for me. Good season for Man City. Watched them for Liverpool, horrendous. Like, just didn't offer anything. Just really poor. Who else have we got?
Who have you
had mentioned? Go on, yeah, that's interesting.
One Sebastian Veron got a shout.
Okay, I thought he was a good player.
Yeah, Falcao got a shout.
Yeah, Falcao.
So we've had mentions for Zlatan. Vidic.
Yeah, Zlatan could be up there.
Yeah. The money he's spent.
It's more. I think it's more like his brand, innit? It's more because he's cool. It's not footballing ability. I know he went to Man United. He wasn't anything special at Man United. I didn't think. Can't remember. Did he get good numbers for Man U?
It's like half decent. I remember I lost a bet with a United fan on my mate. I think I said he'd be less than 20 goals. I think he did get over that. So I think it was something like. But I think his thing as well is like he makes a difference and wins trophies. He wins stuff everywhere he goes.
True. He's a winner. Absolutely. Yeah. But when it comes to overrated,
I think Pogba's not a bad shout. I think it's the first time we've had Pogba. I don't think many will disagree with you. The amount of money he's generated in transfers for his ability, probably would back that up.
I mean, the Man United squad literally could be in this list, couldn't he? When you think about the players, that Anthony fella, I know he's banging them in for Real Betis, but 90 million quid. Wow. No comment. That's all I can say.
Okay, great. Well, the next one, maybe a bit nicer, the most underrated player of all time.
Okay, so we mentioned goalies before. Pepe Reina has got to be one. And the reason that I say that, I think Pepe Reina was doing things that a lot of modern goalkeepers are getting credit for now. I think he was doing that back in, if I remember right, 2006, 2007. I used to watch him just popping into Torres' feet. He could play out. He was comfortable. He was a good goalkeeper. I think he was. I'm not saying, I know people rated Pepe Reina, by the way, but I don't think he was ever really. I think Reina was a lot better than what people give him credit for. They had a couple of people saying that. I know Rafa said it about like how he was sort of underappreciated. Reina, he had the odd little mess up in him, but I don't know what goal. Alisson's got that in him. Yeah, I love Alisson. What a keeper. Keller, is there a better number two? Wowzer. Second one, and we mentioned him before, and it's a weird one, this, because I know people rate him, but Frank Lampard. And Frank Lampard, for me, I think about midfielders now and numbers that they get from midfield. And back in the day, for me, it was tougher Premier League. It was a tougher Premier League. Lampard was hitting 15, 20 goals a season from midfield. I just find that phenomenal. Yeah. If you watch how many goals that lad scored, and if you watch his performances, you know, he could pass a ball, he'd throw a tackle in. I think he was really underrated. I put Lampard there. Steve Finnan comes into this one as well, right back to Liverpool.
We've had him before, yep.
Yeah, Steve Finnan, really like Steve Finnan. Thought he was very underrated. Can't remember him making a mistake. I know he never ventured forward a lot, but put some great balls in. Really liked him, really good player. Probably got more for this one, to be honest with you. Yeah, probably the them three for now.
No, that's all good, of course.
I do like to go on, sorry.
No, don't be silly. I like it. Okay, the last two then.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, the next one is the greatest manager of all time.
Wow. This is it. Again, I'll go from my time.
Yep.
It really is. It's a toss up. This, I think, between Klopp and Pep. For me. Listen, I know people have probably mentioned Fergie as well for what he's done. You would have to put Fergie in there, actually, wouldn't you? You would. How can you not for what he done? I think the different. I mean, Pep Guardiola's a genius. I know he's had a bit of an off season, but the job he's done, the development of players, were just fantastic. But I've just watched the documentary on Amazon, the Klopp one. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah.
And the story of Jurgen Klopp. It's just unbelievable how he was a player manager, interim manager for Mainz, and then I think he's took a little bit of advice from a former manager, and then he's oh my God, the job, how he's worked himself up, and he's worked himself out of the game, Klopp, because he was so intense, and you could see he was sort of losing his personality a bit. Unbelievable. Different managers, but I actually haven't got an answer here, because I think them three you would have to say. Carlo Ancelotti. Oh my God.
I think they are the four that get mentioned the most. I think we've had
Steven Gerrard going through.
Yes,
done a really good job, but I'll get sacked in the morning in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. I think those four, though, as you said, I think we've had players who played under Shankly who come in and said he's got to be mentioned. But again, as you said before your time, I think in the modern era, Ancelotti, Ferguson, Klopp and Guardiola is the conversation. Maybe people who are Liverpool fans wouldn't put Klopp in there. I wouldn't. I'd maybe not be. I'd always say he's part of the argument. But I think those three, at least those four.
No, you're right. And people will go, what's Klopp won? But I think you've got to look at it from a sensible point of view. You know, what Liverpool were competing with. We know City were actually cheating, if we're being honest. So the fact, realistically, Klopp should have won more. But I suppose you could say that about Rafa when he could have won the league. And I think Ronaldo scored like 80 goals or something that season. Yeah. Then Brendan Rodgers with Man City. You know, there's all ifs and buts, but I think we got 98 points, and didn't win the league. I mean, that's just that just shows you how good Pep Guardiola is.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing. What a rivalry. And now, the bald Messiah's come in and just gone.
There is no rivalry,
No rivalry. See you later.
More fun that way, yeah. Right, the last question then is, who is the greatest team of all time? So not as in like a 1 to 11, like a team that has been assembled. So it could be for a game, for a season, for a tournament.
I think I'd probably go Barca, the Xavi, Iniesta, Messi, sort of. That would probably be my favourite team. I think they won the European Cup, didn't they, that year? That era of that team would probably be my favourite, mate.
The best of
it.
They get a lot of shouts. That's a good one, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Okay, right. That's the end of our conversation. Thank you so much.
I really appreciate Thanks for having me, mate. Appreciate it.
It's been great. I've enjoyed chatting about footy and obviously the other stuff you do aside of it. If anyone wants to follow you, get in touch, whatever, what's the best way to do that?
Do you know what I would say? If you could, most of my stuff now goes onto YouTube. My YouTube channel. So that's where I put a lot of my stuff. So Farley TV. On YouTube, if you can get on there, and really appreciate everyone's support. If there's anyone that I don't get back to, anyone who's watching who messages me or whatever, I really do apologise. I don't go on social media that much. I have got people who tend to send me stuff and then I'll have a look at it and send it back. So I do apologise for that. But you can follow me on Facebook. I'm on pretty much all the social media outlets. But yeah, if you're on Twitter, don't be giving me any grief. Back to you.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's been very interesting. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you everyone for watching or listening to the Football Historian podcast.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.